And we're talking about all this boxing, so we might as well get someone who knows a bit about boxing. All right, so now, I was wrong before I jumped it, but now we're going to cross to our fight reporter, Cairo George, who is watching from his house in Kirikiriroa at the moment. The house on the hood. Bro, what's your thoughts with everything going on at 263?
Kia ora.
Kia ora, brother.
Are we?
You there?
Kia ora, guys. Yeah, we're down here in Kirikiriroa, watching the UFC fight. We're currently in round number 4. Very calculated performance so far by Israel Adesanya. Nothing too exciting in terms of action, but very calculated performance, very precise from Israel. Just has an answer for everything at the moment. A couple of little rough moments in round 3 where he was taken to the ground and in a bit of a tricky situation in terms of a choke. The other thing that's probably worth mentioning is Brad Riddell, real good performance earlier on the night, had a real big win and paid a tribute to their teammate Ao Toa, who passed away recently, so that's worth mentioning as well. But we're about halfway through round number 4, so I can keep you guys updated later.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks my bro. Who are you picking? Who are you picking for the win?
Oh, Israel all day, all day. Yeah, he's just got an answer for everything. There's been a couple of takedowns in this fight so far. That's kind of the way that Marvin Vettori is trying to fight this fight, is get Israel on the ground. But every time he goes down, he just springs back up. So he's got an answer for it. So it's looking good for our man.
Brother, I was a bit worried. I thought that the fight was over already. I thought he had won it. So it's in the 4th round, did you say, at the moment? And would you say he's won the first 3?
Yep.
The first 3 rounds?
I would say it's 2-1, 2-1 at the moment, and round number 4 is probably looking like it's his round as well. So one more round. We're about halfway through round 4 now, and one more round to go.
Awesome, bro. Thank you. Very cool.
We catch up with our fight reporter, Cairo George, to talk everything about UFC 263, Israel Adesanya and CKB.
And we're also going to catch up with Super Rugby man, Mr. Sean Wainui.
All right, kia ora my bro, Israel Adesanya. He just finished his fight a few minutes ago. You watched, tell us all about that fight.
Kia ora, guys. Yeah, I've just finished up the Israel Adesanya fight. Clear shutout win, in my opinion. Israel had an answer for everything. Marvin Vettori was trying to take down Israel Adesanya the whole fight, and Israel had an answer for it all the time. Every time he did get to the ground, he just sprung back up, and very calculated performance. And it was probably worth mentioning as well that he paid a tribute after the fight to, again, their city kickboxing teammate Ao Toa, who was recently passed away.
Hey, bro, do you think Israel's unbeatable?
Well, he's looking that way. Like today was a really good way to make him make a statement at middleweight, just to prove to everyone that he is the king in that division. He made his attempt to go up to light heavyweight and he fell short, but and then people started sort of raising questions around, is he very that dominant as he was? And he just come back down to middleweight and showed that he really is the king there.
Well, Cairo, what's next for Izzy in the middleweight division? Is it Whittaker? Does he fight Whittaker again? Does he go and fight in Australia with that Whittaker fight? Like, what do you reckon's next?
Well, yeah, he made a bit of a statement after the fight, actually, and called Robert Whittaker for Auckland. So for us as Kiwis, let's hold our fingers crossed that we get it here in Aotearoa.
Bro, and you spoke earlier about Ao Toa, who was a part of CKB, and Brad Riddell was also on this card, and his fight was epic. It was unbelievable. We caught that fight. What was your thoughts on the Brad Riddell fight? Because he talked about Foe, and he talked about his intro. He used Foe's intro. It was pretty touching.
Yeah, no, that was Israel and Brad's. They both showed a lot of respect towards Fao and the family and stuff. So yeah, it was real touching. Both fights, they both fought real well. Brad's always in incredible wars whenever he fights. I don't know, he must love those wars, man. So real exciting fight, and then yeah, paid tribute to their teammate Ao Toa and Israel Adesanya, a shutout performance, and again. Just pay tribute to Ao Toa again. So yeah, a real tight-knit family in that city kickboxing team.
So your thoughts, is that CKB gym the best in the world?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, they seem to be, the proof is in the pudding, man. These guys are out there kicking ass. So, yeah, I believe that they are one of the strongest teams in the world.
Me, thanks, brother. Hey, last night, Kara, you hosted the War in Waikato. Let's take a look at that.
Is it me?
Francis has been at the top of the amateur boxing scene for the past couple of years before he turned pro. Jerome Pascoe is another southpaw, and it's not often you get two southpaws versus each other. I'm Sean George, and I've been working with Francis for the last 7 or 8 years.
So yeah, War in the Waikato is an event that's been going on for quite a while. These were events that sort of, I brought my career along fighting on these events, like my first few fights. Before I started fighting internationally, I was fighting on these sort of events.
No, I think this event's really important. It helps keep everyone enthusiastic about boxing.
I started boxing maybe about 6 years ago with my brother. Firstly, just to overcome some things that were holding me back in my mind, and coming through that journey, it's helped me to grow as a better person, and I want to use that as a way to help others.
So the main event, Francis Waitai, yeah, he's like our own guy. He's the guy that we promote on these events each time, and he's undefeated at the moment, and so yeah, he's looking this probably could potentially be one of the last fights here in New Zealand before he starts having to go overseas and find some international guys.
Quiet, humble guy. He's like that in and out of the ring, and has always been a quiet guy. He slowly comes alive as you get to know him, and it may take you a year or so, but no, yeah, that's just how he is. And we're constantly on the edge of being the guy in the amateurs, and it never sort of really went our way. So we just turned professional to make it go our way there.
He's a beast, man. He's always redlining the training 100% all the time, so he's ready to go.
Yeah, it's been pretty good training with him. He pushes everyone in the gym, and he's really good helping the newer boxers get up to standard and stuff, and gives really good advice. Yeah, I think he's going to do really well tonight.
Jerome Pascoe, so this has been the closest fight he's had as a professional. They fought on Shane Cameron's card. Francis won that fight on a split decision. So that's been the closest fight he's had, and so now they're going to rematch for the New Zealand title, so that one should be a cracker.
Yeah, we've got some up-and-coming talent, get some new amateurs coming through the scene.
I'm not too sure about fights at the moment, but yeah, I'm just training, and whenever I can get a fight, I'll fight.
So it's real cool just to see the up-and-coming boxers. You know, we've got 2 professional fights in the main event, and the rest of the card is stacked with corporate boxing. So these corporate boxers, a lot of them, it's a first-time thing for them, and they just get out there and have a go, and then, yeah, hopefully they fall in love with boxing and stick with it. Yeah, I debuted on one of these shows when I first turned pro, and I won my first New Zealand title on one of these shows. So yeah, it's awesome for me to be here now, hosting these events and promoting these shows, and promoting these young guys. You know, giving these young guys an opportunity to show their face and get out there.
All right, my bro, we just watched the clip about the war in Waikato. So, before we talk about that a bit more, Money Mayweather, now, I've been stitched up to ask you this, was Money Mayweather, he got 15 mil for his fight the other day. How much money did you make over your fighting career?
Ooh. If I told you that, I'd have to kill you, so I don't want to do that.
Hey, all you needed to say was more than you at netball, Gil.
Bro, you still getting in the ring every now and then?
Well, yeah, I was kind of retired by COVID. Once this whole thing happened and I couldn't travel anymore, I reached the point in my career that I was fighting internationally only. But now that there's a border open up to Australia, I am looking at fighting again in the later part of this year against the top Australian in my division. So, yep, I'll have another knock.
Oh, that was awesome, bro. Hey, how would you sum up the fight night?
Pardon me?
How would you sum up the fight night? You think it was a success?
Oh, our fight night, yeah. Yeah, our last night's event was a huge success. The night was packed out. It's awesome for these guys. We bring these guys in and we train them up for 10 to 12 weeks. They're not boxing people, and we put them into corporate boxing matches. That was a big portion of the night, and these guys get to experience what it's like to be a boxer. They bring their friends and their families and that to support them, and then we end the night by showcasing some professional fighters. So we're just hoping to just bring more people in as boxing fans. We bring these people in, they do these corporate boxing fights, and we hope that they see the higher level guys in the end of the night and they think, oh, this is pretty cool sport. So it's great for boxing to bring these corporate boxers in and do these things. Even the thing that we talked about just before with the YouTubers, it's not really a bad thing for me. It's bringing eyes to the sport, I suppose. A little bit of a circus, but the more eyes the better.
Bro, talking about that and being a bit of a circus with the YouTubers and Jake and Logan Paul, is that the biggest fight in boxing at the moment? I know as a purist,
as me as a purist, yeah, as a purist, for me the biggest fight in boxing that can happen right now is Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. So yeah, no, not the Jake, none of the Paul brothers are involved in the biggest fight in my opinion.
What about our good mate Joseph Parker? Well, what's next for him?
Yeah, he's been keeping pretty quiet. Like I think I saw that he's in Mexico at the moment with his family, so I think he's just enjoying a bit of family time, man, and good on him. He just come through a good tough fight, so yeah, he's just taking some family time from what I've seen.
Hey, so from the fighters that you had last night, are there any that you can see have got a bright future in the sport?
Yeah, most definitely. Our guy Francis Waikato, he's the current super middleweight champion, and he defended his title successfully last night against Jerome Pascua. So yeah, he's looking to probably move on to international fights probably from now on.
But you were talking before about people have never really been in the ring before, right? And you want to give them that chance, and you kind of have to face your fears when you've never been in there before. If someone was like, hey, I want to be on the card next year, I want to be in the next one, how do people get involved?
Yeah, so I run a gym here in the Waikato, Hit Fitness HQ, and we train these guys up and host these events. So you get in touch with me directly on either socials or the gym pages or my own pages, and then we can get that sorted. But we run these events quite regularly. We probably do 2 a year. We run last night's event, and then we're looking at going again in November, and fingers crossed that I can get my fight over the line and fight against the Australian champ as well.
Oh, well, we look forward to that, brother. We certainly look forward to that. It'd be great to see you in the ring again, and nice and clear of COVID. I think it'd be good to get behind you.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thank you, guys. Also, I just want to make a shout out to this place that hosted us today, the House on Hood Street here in Kirikiriroa.
Awesome, bro. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey,